Hey y'all, this is me, DDTS, DeAndre Dobbs. This is episode 760. Before you start the video, I just want to say, while editing, I found some information and I happened to read upon something, and that is this. So I found out and read, and I watched the video, and it said that after this whole scenario of Jaden Ivey being let go of the Chicago Bulls team, it is said allegedly that his wife was not speaking to him or texting him or this and that and the third. This is alleged. And it has been a lot of videos that have been made about him. People's giving their rightful opinion. People's giving their opinions, their perspective, this and that and the third. And I know me as a person who is part of the LGBTQIA community, I'm going to stand 10 toes down for my community. But I also want to share some more aspects, if I may. I understand that it's a lot of peoples in our society and in our world, in our community, in our area, in our stance, in every single part of life. I know it's a bunch of peoples around this world, in this country, in this society. They cannot stand the thought of us peoples who are a part of the LGBTQ community. They are really quick to waving that flag of judgmentals when it comes to the church. That I'm so literally, if I'm going to be honest, I respect everybody's opinion. I respect everybody's perspective, what they have. But I also have to respect people's opinions of who I don't agree with. Now, I understand and I know firsthand a lot of people will say who are of Christian, who goes to church 24/7, who reads the Bible 24/7, who lives a allegedly amazing style of life that say, the good Lord didn't make no man for a man, he made a man for a woman. Listen, I've heard that through all my years of life, of 31 years of life. Well, let me put it in this aspect, and let me put it in a way that I'm pretty sure a lot of you can understand. And if y'all don't understand it from that, I really don't know what to say to you all, because allegedly I forgot to say it in the video, because as I was ranting and giving my opinions and elaborating, and this is what I have to say. No one can choose who someone else wants to love. And as a person who is part of the LGBTQIA community, if a man wants to love a man, if a woman wants to love a woman, a dog wants to love a dog, a cat wants to love a cat, a mouse wants to love a mouse, it does not matter. We come from a society and we come from a world where we are able to love whoever we want to love, because love is love, equality is equality. Now, I know it's a bunch of peoples that are Christian, that are saved, sanctified, and that's part of the church community that is probably watching this video, probably is going to turn it off. And that is totally fine. Now, I will say this. Now, I was not going to do a lot of this ranting before the video started, but I really want to get this off my chest, and I really want to get this elaboration right. But let me ask you something. As Christians, you claim that you love the Lord, and you claim that you go to church. You claim that your God is telling you that you should do this for this person, do this for this person, for the kindness of your heart. But wait a minute. If you claim to be Christian, Don't you supposed to love everybody as well? Don't you supposed to give everybody an opportunity, a chance? Don't you supposed to love everybody? Regardless of what? Regardless of their backgrounds? Regardless of who they love, who they are, who they want to be? Is that part of the Wakatra? Don't you think everyone around this nation who are Christian, you claim that you're Christian, you claim that you love the Lord, you claim that God has been good to you, that's wonderful. I believe there is a God. I believe the things that comes with being in the church. But I will say this. If you call yourself a Christian, and if you call yourself a child of God, then do things that a child of God do. And one of the things that you should do and that you should think about doing is love everyone in this nation. You do not have to agree with who they love and what action they do, this and that and the third. We are not perfect because we all sin at the end of the day. You can be Miss and Mr. Pitch Perfect and still sin and do wrong at the end of the day. But I want you to ask yourself, do you love yourself? Because if you love yourself, then you should pass the love that you have for yourself onto someone else that deserves your love. We should love everybody the same and don't treat them any different. If you claim you are a Christian, and if you claim that you are a child of God, and if you claim you have that goodness in your heart, then love everyone the same and don't judge them beyond their background or who they love and who they want to be. Do not judge them. Love them. Give them a chance. If you don't understand, let them help you understand what they're going through. This new change. That's basically all I'm saying. And for the basketball player, Jaden Ivey, do I feel sorry for him? Listen, I'm just going to put it in this aspect. He's speaking his truth. He's speaking his opinion. He's speaking his truth. That does not mean I'm standing with him. That does not mean I'm agreeing with him. But when you think about it, the NBA is LGBTQ community allies. So basically, he's spoken against the LGBTQ community. In his way, he might be old-fashioned and he might be old school. That might be all he know. Now, whether he's homophobic, I don't know. But I do not agree with his comment when he said that the LGBTQ community is outrageous. I do not agree with that. So you're saying the LGBTQIA community, our community, is outrageous. But you got peoples around here in the church who are racist, who are homophobic, transphobic, pedophiles, hypocrites, scammers, liars, and everything else in the book. But when it comes to people of the LGBTQ community, when it comes to our family of the LGBTQ community, we are outrageous. No, it's called us living our truth. It's called us being happy, coming to terms and overcoming so many negative things that people threw at us and of peoples that came before us that made this community. Xavier Smalls, who played as Angel on Beauty in Black, he said something similar. But when he faced that backlash, he came out with a big apology, apologizing. He can keep that apology. Because I don't believe that either. But what I will say about Jaden Ivey, he's standing by his comment. But what I will say is this. I can allegedly say I take accountability if I'm wrong throughout this video. But what I will say is peoples can stand with their comments. But one thing about it, I don't have to agree with them. I don't have to stand with them. But one thing I will do when it comes to my community and when it comes to peoples that I care about, when it comes to a community that I stand 10 toes down behind and that I fight with, that I am a part of course, I'm going to stand 10 toes down behind my community. He has his opinions and he has his freedom of speech, but guess what? I'm going to have mine. Do I agree with his comment? No, I do not. Do I believe he's telling the truth? He's telling his truth. He's telling his opinion. Just because he's telling his does not mean I have to agree with it. But at the end of the day, we have a right to love who we want to love. And the NBA, for them to waive Jaden Levy, for them to fire him, basically says you should have just kept your comments. You should have just kept whatever you had in your heart, in your soul, to yourself. Because maybe if he hadn't said it in a way that was kind of, mean type of like, if you don't know and if you're confused, it's better to just keep it to yourself and don't say anything at all. I'm just going to put it in that aspect. And y'all might not agree with me, but hey, that's what I wanted to say. And that's going to be my intro, what I wanted to say, what I forgot to say in the video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And let me know what you guys think. So as we come on and as we come forward, I'm about to go ahead and do some elaborations on this video. Love y'all and enjoy the video. Thank you. Bye-bye. This video was recorded on April the 2nd, 2026. And this video is alleged. And I did my research. Make sure you do yours. And please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on this video. The title of this video is DDTS, NBA Chicago Bulls basketball player Jaden Ivey waived after anti-LGBTQ community comments, my opinion and my perspective. And as you see at the bottom of the pictures related to the topic, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching and enjoy the show. Hello, everybody, and welcome to DDTS episode 760. I'm back with another video. Thank y'all for joining me. I'm thinking I'm on episode 760. Thank y'all for joining me. Happy Thursday. It is April the 2nd, 2026. I'm back with another video for y'all today. This is not going to be a long video. This is going to be a video on the recaps and what's been trending, my elaboration. If you know, you know. We're going to talk about that. Y'all, I just woken up from a nap. I just got done eating a piece of chocolate candy by the name of Kit Kat. I just ate me a piece of Kit Kat chocolate candy. Just gonna put it in that aspect, y'all. And I needed some energy. I needed a nap because I had a doctor's appointment earlier today, and I've been up since 6:30 this morning. And of course, I needed me a little nap. But yeah, and I'm just so happy to do this episode with y'all. I don't know much about this person, respectfully. I don't know too much about this person, but I'm just gonna give my elaboration, and I'm gonna read to y'all, give y'all an update while we are doing this episode, what's been going on within this situation. Now, this situation that I will be elaborating on, I can say that it's similar to the situation with Xavier Smalls, who plays Angel on Beauty in Black, a show that Tyler Perry has produced and made and has been a success. And it only has one more season, which is season 3. And after that season, it is over with. But this situation that we're going to be elaborating on is kind of like what Xavier Smalls was in hot water and backlash about anti-LGBTQIA community jokes. Well, not jokes, but, his opinion and his religious beliefs. So we're going to talk about that and what this NBA basketball player said. But first, if you're new here and if you have not yet, hit that like button, subscribe button, and that notification bell so you will get notified when I have new videos available. So let's go ahead and get into this video. Let's go ahead and get into this topic. So today we're going to be talking about this topic. We're going to be talking about a Chicago Bulls basketball player who by the name of Jaden Ivey. From what I've heard and from what I've read, he has been let go, or he has been replaced, or he has left the basketball team, or he has left the NBA, or something like that, allegedly because of his comments and his religious beliefs and what he said about the anti-LGBTQ. He made some anti-LGBTQ comments, and he also criticized the NBA's support of Pride Month. So that's what he's allegedly in hot water about. So I'm going to go ahead and give my elaboration, and I'm going to go ahead and give y'all a rundown on how all of this started. It says, based on reports from March the 30th to April 1st, 2026, the Chicago Bulls Wavied guard Jaden Ivey following a series of social media rants in which he made an anti-LGBTQ plus comments and criticized the NBA's of Pride Month. The NBA's support of Pride Month. The key of the incident, the comments. In Instagram videos, Ivey criticized the NBA's promotion LGBTQ plus Pride Month, calling it a celebration of unrighteousness. He attributed his views to his religious beliefs. The action. The Chicago Bulls waived Ivey on March the 30th, 2026, citizen conduct determination to the team. Backlash and response. Following his release, Ivey stood by his comments and he disputed the team's description of his actions, arguing his comments were an expression of faith. Further remarks. During his rants, Ivey also criticized fellow NBA players LeBron James and Steph Curry regarding their religious beliefs and made critical comments about Catholicism. Now, we're going to stop right there. Now, as I read this to y'all, I want to go to the first statement that I read, and that's the comments. Now, I will say this. As I was on Instagram, I did see a video of a basketball player by the name of Jaden Ivey. Now, I did not know that was him. Now, it had his name when he was talking about this anti-LGBTQ rant in the video. Now, he was making some things and some comments about our LGBTQ plus community. Now, again, he is the second person who is a celebrity, who is pretty much well known. Well, I don't too much well know him because I don't watch basketball. I don't watch football, I don't watch none of that. I love wrestling. And I think that's quite silly that I don't. But yes, I was actually on Instagram because I love Instagram, by the way. And I saw a person by the name of Jaden Ivey, and plus his name was trending a lot. And I did not know that he was part of the NBA team, the Chicago Bulls. So allegedly, let's go over to this first statement that I just read the comments. It says in Instagram videos, Ivey criticized the NBA promotion of the LGBTQ plus Pride Month, calling it a celebration of unrighteousness, and he attributed to his views and his religious beliefs. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and say this because I'm not finna get in a fiasco over this again. But the fact that this is a black man, and as you know, being black and you serving the Lord and you serving God and you going to church, you being a part of the black community, that you are a black person, and you all know if you are black, you know firsthand how black peoples of our community is when it comes to God, when it comes to the Lord, when it comes to going to church. We all have that one person or a couple of peoples within our community that loves God, and they abide by the Bible 24/7. They read the Bible so much that they can quote every word, every verse, everything from it. And you have those also the same people that love the Lord, that love the church, that say, oh, we must go to church 24/7. We got to give the Lord some of our time. Because trust me, I know, because I've been through that. And I'm just going to say this before I really say what I'm going to say, because I'm not really going to get into a big old rant about it because I know how I can get. But this is my honest opinion. This is my truth. I'm going to say this. The church is just a building. It is not something, that it used to be. Church is not what it used to be. Church is not what it used to be. Peoples that claim that they love the Lord and that they love God and that He is the head of their lives. A lot of peoples do not mean that. They just want to say that to get peoples off their back. But I'm really going to say this because I don't want to get anybody mad, which I don't care if anybody get mad. I'm still going to speak my truth. But the first statement that I just read, when he said that it was a celebration of unrighteousness, I'm gonna be honest with you. The LGBTQ plus community is an important community. This is a community that has been up for decades. This is a community that we as peoples of the LGBTQIA community, we are fighting attack to keep our rights. Because I'm so happy and I'm so proud to be a part of a community that we can call our own, that peoples are trying to drag away. I love being a part of the LGBTQIA community because I've worked so hard, and there's a lot of people that work so hard to overcome all the obstacles of being who they are and who they want to be and who they want to love. Now, I will say this. For him to call it a celebration of unrighteousness, I do not agree. I think the LGBTQIA community, the LGBTQ plus community, is a celebration of love. It's a celebration of love for those who are a part of the LGBTQ plus community, to express their love, to celebrate their coming out, to celebrate why we are here, to celebrate why we as LGBTQ plus peoples really matter. We celebrate Pride Month in June. We celebrate the LGBTQ plus community for those that helped got it started, the legends that helped make it the way it is. We celebrate those that came before us, and I can name so many peoples. Because if you've watched any of my videos, I will tell you right then and there, if it wasn't for LGBTQ plus peoples such as us, it wouldn't be a lot of things going on. It wouldn't be a lot of history going on. Because if a case you do not know, LGBTQ plus peoples such as myself and my friends and many, many other peoples that I know, we make up a big population around the world, and we make a big difference. And I'm going to say this. For him to say that it's calling it a celebration of our righteousness, let me just say this. Now, I respect everybody's religion. I respect everybody's religion's beliefs. I respect everybody, what they believe in. I know it's a lot of people that is watching this video that is religious, that is against the LGBTQ plus community. If you're watching this video and you are against the LGBTQ plus community, then I'm sorry for you. And I understand it's a lot of peoples that is watching this video and that is still around the world that believes in the old school and reading the Bible and say what they gonna say. Now, for him to say that it's unrighteousness, I do not agree. But I'm going to say this. So you saying that the LGBTQ plus celebration is unrighteousness, but it's okay for these it's okay for these so-called Christians to be hypocrites talking down on LGBTQ peoples, but it's okay for for the Christians and peoples that are a part of the church to talk down on peoples, to spread judgment on peoples, to do all this evil stuff more than other peoples are doing. So it's so pretty much so basically you're saying, sir, it's unrighteousness when we as peoples of the LGBTQ plus community celebrate our month. And you're mad because the NBA is a big support of the LGBTQ plus. And it's a lot of peoples that plays professional basketball and I know football that is part of the LGBTQ plus community. So you're saying that celebrating Pride Month and LGBTQ events and moments is unrighteousness? You want to know what else is righteousness? Homophobic peoples. You want to know what else is unrighteousness? Peoples that claim that they call themselves of servers of the Lord, but out here having outside children, out here having affairs, out here talking about, oh, homosexuality is wrong. Okay, so if homosexuality is wrong coming from these so-called Christians' mouth that claim that they are saved and that they love the Lord and they come to church every Sunday with their face held high and being bougie and all that, for those of y'all that's saying that, they be coming up in their church praising the Lord and try to say, we need to go to church more, we need to serve the Lord more, we need to do more for the church. Okay, y'all are saying that, but y'all are also the same peoples that is doing the same things. But the only thing is, y'all doing it behind closed doors. Y'all doing it in secret. Y'all don't want peoples of y'all community knowing that y'all are doing the same exact acts and doing the same exact things that this basketball player Jaden Ivey is saying of the LGBTQ plus community. So it's unrighteous. So let me get this straight. It's unrighteousness that us as peoples of the LGBTQ community can live our lives, live our truths, be happy with ourselves because we've overcome. It's unrighteousness when we ain't bothering nobody, when the LGBTQ plus community has been here for decades and we celebrate it every June. So it's unrighteousness for us to celebrate our month and live our lives, live our truth. So I guess it's righteousness that half of y'all, biggest of y'all hypocritical peoples, they be up in the church when y'all face held high, be doing the same thing behind closed doors. So it's okay for the deacons to mess around with another deacon. So it's okay for the motherboard woman to mess around with another motherboard woman. So it's okay for the peoples of the church to mess up the church's money and not help the peoples that are in need that come to church to get help. So y'all are calling that righteousness? Y'all are calling that righteousness? I think not. Y'all are backwards. Y'all need to get y'all facts and seniority straight. Because why these so-called Christians and peoples and these celebrities going out here running their mouths, going out here speaking on things, you know, that could and that can't be right? If you know, you know. But I'm going to say this. I've heard the same thing my 31 years of life. Even as a kid, I've heard so many peoples in my family. I've heard so many peoples in my community. I've heard so many of my so-called friends that I thought was my friends tell me and tell everybody else homosexuality is bad. A man that lies with a man should be stoned. A woman that lies with a woman, that ain't right. That's nasty. You going here, you going there, you ain't going there. I got so sick and tired, and I'm getting so sick and tired of hearing it. But this is my thing. This is my thing, because I'm not finna get riled up. This is my thing. Sometimes, when it comes to certain things, it's best to be quiet and hush, especially if you are a celebrity, if you are a superstar, even if you do not know what you are talking about. Definitely just keep it quiet. Now, I know y'all probably like, well, DeAndre is the one to talk. He should be quiet too. No, I'm not going to be quiet, because at least I can speak what I believe is my truth and what I believe is right. So those are his beliefs. Our beliefs are not the same. His beliefs are one thing. Other people's beliefs are the same. Do you know how many peoples around this world that had to hold on, y'all. I'm back, y'all. I'm sorry for that interruption, but yes, I might not have the right to speak on a lot of things as well, and I know sometimes I should hush, especially if it ain't got a thing to do with me. But I will say this. Now, this type of topic, I have a right to talk about anything that I want to talk about, because you know why? Because we have a freedom of speech. I have a freedom of speech. You have a freedom of speech. Everybody has a freedom of speech. And guess what else I have? I have a platform. I have a platform that I love. I have a platform that helps me navigate a bunch of things. I have a platform. I'm a content creator, and it helps me, helps other people's try to understand what they don't understand. I know I'm not the most perfect person in this world. I know I'm not the best content creator, but in my opinion, when it comes to things like this, I love to elaborate. I love to talk about these things. So back one more time with what I'm saying, I really feel like if you are a celebrity, if you are a superstar, actor, when it comes to religion, when it comes to politics, when it comes to certain topics around this world and nation, I really feel like a lot of us need to just hush it, be quiet, and keep it cute. Because if I'm correct, I think this whole scenario gotten Jaden Ivey to basically lose his career, better yet, lose his spot on the Chicago Bulls, if I'm correct. I'm not really sure. But the way he's sticking to his views, and he's sticking to his views, I'm going to stick to mine, and I'm not changing them. Now, I understand, and I know it's a bunch of peoples that agree with Jaden Ivey. I know it's a bunch of peoples that agree with Jaden Ivey. I know it's a bunch of peoples that probably is applying him on. Not only because that he's a famous basketball player and he plays for the Chicago Bulls. I know it's a bunch of peoples that applying him on. But I also know that it's also a bunch of peoples that's calling it a lot of BS. They're probably saying, why are you saying something now? Like, why are you deciding to say this? Like, you can say what you want to say. We LGBTQ plus peoples, men and women, we ain't going nowhere. We been here before the head of time and the peoples before us. This ain't the first time that peoples have spoken against the LGBTQ plus community, and it won't be the last time, because guess what? We still gonna be here while y'all having y'all anti-LGBTQ rant. We ain't going nowhere. I ain't going nowhere. My other LGBTQ brothers and sisters ain't going nowhere. We ain't going nowhere. And this goes out to every person within the LGBTQ plus community. All around the world, if you are with the LGBTQ plus community, I love you. And we must stand together. And I'm going to tell you something. International Transgender Visibility Day was on March the 31st. That's an important holiday for us as well. No, I'm not trans, but I have a lot of trans brothers and sisters within our community that I truly love. They are part of our community as well. I stand for all, most definitely. And I'm going to put it in that aspect. So for Jaden Ivey, I think he did lose his job, allegedly. I'm not sure. I don't know what waived means, but looks like I'm going to have to look that up real quick. 1 second. Hey y'all, so I'm back. So I was happily to look up the definition of what wavered mean. And it is this. The definition of waived is to voluntarily and internationally give up, relinquish, or forego a legal right, claim, privilege, or requirement. So with that, with what I just read, I think I figured out what waived is. When it says that he was waived or he had to waive, it's basically like give up his position or his job that he was doing, which I know he was a basketball player. And his comments allegedly pretty much landed him in hot water. But I will say this, I'm guessing that was his freedom of speech. And I will say this, peoples have a right to voice their opinions about things. A lot of peoples have a right to voice their opinions about things. But if you don't know firsthand, or if you feel like you're going to say it in a way to make other peoples within other communities feel bad, and if you feel like you're going to have to say it to spit on other people's parade, even though you is trying to get your point across, then maybe you should keep that to yourself. Whether it's right or if it's wrong, at some point, a form of fashion, keep things to yourself. Because other peoples might not be able to take what you can dish. And I'm that same way. Some things I might not can be able to take or dish. But at the same time, I prepared myself and I know what I was getting myself into when I opened up those can of worms. Now, whether I'm right or whether I'm wrong, I'm still going to stick to my guns, and I'm going to pretty much stick to what I said. And that goes for Jaden Ivey. Now, if I missed anything, I apologize. But yeah. And this happened on March the 30th, 2026. Where the Chicago Bulls waived Ivey on this whole scenario, conduct determination to the team. and the backlash and the response following his release, because he was released allegedly from the Chicago Bulls following that comment. And the reason he was released following that comment, because again, the NBA and it's a bunch of peoples that were part of the team are big supporters and allies or even part of the LGBTQIA community. And Jaden Ivey, he didn't back down. He didn't back down. He stood by his comments and disputed the team's description of his actions, arguing his comments were an expression of faith. Okay, yes, they might have been an expression of his faith. Just because there was an expression of his faith may not be an expression of anybody else's faith, because everybody's faith is totally different. And I'm just going to put it in that aspect. Your faith and my faith might not be the same thing, but in the long run, you have to think about things that you say and how you say them. Now, maybe he comes from a background of peoples within our community that's old school, that believes in you should get married before you have sex, or a man should lie with a woman. Oh, this and that and the third. How they was raised. They might not been raised in society how it is now, where people's go and sleep with who they want to sleep with, be with who they want to be with, don't give two craps who they're with or what people's got to say. Now, I don't know too much about his background, but what I will say, our faiths are not the same, and if you do not know firsthand or how to say it in a respectable way, or say it in a way that's not going to make anybody feel comfortable, I really feel when it comes to politics, religions, this and that and the third, I really feel like a lot of peoples, maybe including myself, should hush on certain things. But you can give your opinion and your freedom of speech, and that is all. Now, the further remarks include, during his rants, Ivey also criticized the fellow NBA players, LeBron James and Stephen Curry, regarding their religious beliefs, and made critical comments on Catholicism. Ivey, a former top 5 pick who had been acquired by the Bulls earlier in 2026, had been sidelined with a knee injury before his release. So, and another thing, picking on somebody else because they are not in the same religion as you, I think it's crazy and I think it's silly, because even though I'm not, I've been baptized, this and that and the third, and I don't go to church like I used to go, but I still believe in the things that comes behind it, how I was raised. But I also would say everybody has a right to choose their own religion, what they believe in, what makes them comfortable, and what makes it right for them. Yes, indeed, in the third. So that's all I'm going to say on that. What do you guys think of this whole scenario of Jaden Ivey? Now, I did not know a thing about this superstar, and his comments is like, I don't know, maybe that's how he feels about it, but I'm pretty sure the people's feel different. But put that in the comments. What do you guys think about this scenario? Is he right? Is he wrong? What do you guys think? I'm going to stand with my LGBTQ plus community, and I'm going to stand for what's right in my opinion and my freedom of speech and everything. So what do you guys think? Put it in the comments. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll be back with another video as soon as possible. I hope y'all enjoy. Thank y'all for watching, and I will see y'all on the next video. Love y'all, and thank you. Bye-bye.
The burger and the fries, the vegetables, the healthy foods, all the good, the apple pie. I like apple pie. Apple pie is good. It's tasty.